Hey guys, welcome back to Double Double. I'm Pranay, and today I'm gonna share about our PR story. Me and Kushbu, how did we come to Canada and how did it all happen? How did we get our PRs and when did we land and stuff like that. So all of those friends and family who have been asking us this question for the last 2 years, this is your time. So come with me as I take you back to August 2017 and let's have a trip down the memory lane. Going back to August 2017, none of us, me or Kushbu, we didn't know that we would be coming to Canada. In fact, both of us were quite settled working in PSU banks back home, and we had just bought our new home. So we spent the last year house hunting and then furnishing our home and doing all the formalities of a house purchase, and we had no plans to come to Canada. We had just moved to our new home and we were just settling down, enjoying the new place. But then in August 2017, I had a friend who had recently come to Canada, and he called me and then we discussed a lot of things, and one of the things that came up was, why don't you guys try and have a PR? A lot of guys are coming to Canada and they are getting jobs and getting settled here. So I was like, yeah, okay, let's give it a try. I was not that confident. I discussed it with Kushbu and she was not sure as well. Then I started looking about the process of coming to Canada and how the PR process is, how the experiences of people are who had recently come here. I started doing some research, and that research developed some interest in me about applying for the PR process myself. 3 criteria which I found were the most important were the IELTS, the WES, and the job experience. Both of us had the job experience. I was a bank manager back home. We had a master's degree, so WES would not be a problem. So the only thing left was IELTS. So I gave the IELTS in October 2017 and I got the 8,777 score. So now I have my IELTS ready. It's October 2017, but I don't have the WES. So what I do, I quickly applied for the WES. Now, both of our universities had a manual process back then. I'm not sure about what it is now. So it took us, I think, more than a month to get the WES credentials. So once we had the WES and the IELTS, oh, by the way, Kushbu's WES didn't arrive because they said there are some documents missing. We decided to resend the documents, but in the meanwhile, our score with just my IELTS and my WES was 448. So I thought, let me just apply and see what happens if there's a lower cutoff, and we wouldn't need her IELTS or her WES. The first week of December is when I applied. My score was around 448, and believe it or not, within a week, I think it was the 12th or 14th of December, and I got an email of the ITA. Now, honestly, both of us were caught unprepared. By the way, the cutoff was 446 and our score was 448. Both of us were unprepared because we did not have the funds with us. We had recently purchased a home, so all the savings were put in as a down payment. We did not know how to leave our government jobs, and we had a big mortgage to pay. So that was something that we were worried about. We were given 2 or 3 months, I think 3 months to submit all the applications for the PR once we received the ITA, that is invitation to apply. So we took 2 full months to prepare, to get the funds sorted out, to get the experience letters from work, to get the medicals, the police verifications. Oh, and by the way, we did the entire process on our own because we did not want to spend money on an agent, on a third-party agent. And the other thing is that, you know, I've heard that sometimes they do make mistakes while submitting our applications, and I personally believe that no one else would know more about your application than you yourself. So it's always better to be prepared and apply yourself. It also helps us in getting a lot of information because we have to do the research before filling out our application forms. So we finally submitted the application in the end of February. I think it was 28th of February, and then it's a waiting game. And by the end of June, both of us were getting a restless, so we applied for the GCMS notes. We tried calling the CIC help center, call center, to understand the status of our application. We got to know that our file was processed at Nova Scotia. After getting all this information, we were quite certain that, you know, the PR would come anytime. Finally, in the middle of July, I think 13th or 14th of July, we had a ghost update in our profile. A ghost update is when there's slight change, so you know that there's something happening in your profile, but there's no material change. So in the meantime, I had joined a lot of WhatsApp groups and other forums where all of us who applied around the same time, we used to discuss about any updates in our profile. Around 13th or 14th of June, we knew that the status will come soon and everything was in place. The GCMS notes that I requested for helped me understand the notes of the visa processing officer, who in the notes were okay. He was able to verify my occupation, he was able to verify my IELTS and WS and stuff like that, so there were no red flags. Finally, on the 14th of July, we got the COPR, the confirmation of permanent residence. We had to send our passports to get it stamped and get the COPR back to us and stuff, like the last formality in the stage of PR. By the way, the GCMS notes is like the RTI application that we have in India, so they give us an update on the profile on our application. There are some conditions that only Canadian citizens and PRs can apply for GCMS notes. So, but there are some people who charge us and who are PRs and citizens of Canada, and they help us apply for the GCMS. So I found someone online and he did the process for me and gave me the GCMS notes. Now, once we got the COPRs, we had until the next February to come to Canada, because it's 1 year from the date of the medicals that we do. So we had our medicals done in the February of 2018, so we could come here until February 2019. But we did not want to come in the winters. We were not even sure about how the winters would be here. So what we did was we planned in such a way that we took leaves from our job. We did not want to leave our jobs because we were not sure about the job markets here. So we took leaves from our jobs for 6 weeks and booked our flights in the first week of August, the 2nd of August 2018. It was early, like the 14th of July was our COPR, then we sent our passports for the stamping and stuff, and we had already booked our flights before we got the passports back. The only reason is that I wanted to join a certification program here from Access Employment, which I believed would help me find a job here given my banking background, and that's why we rushed to book the tickets. The course was starting around 5th or 6th. Thankfully, we got the passports just on the last day of July. So on the 31st, we got our passports stamped back to us, and second was our flight. As I mentioned earlier, we had one of our friends here, and he was kind enough to accommodate us for like the 6-week period, and we stayed at their place. He was kind enough to pick us from the airport, so all that hassle, all that trouble, all that stress was not there for us. And then I went to the certification course center, the Access Employment, to inquire for that course, and I got to know all the batches till September or October were full. And then I thought of doing the courses myself to get a job. So basically, after we reached here on the 2nd of August, within those 6 weeks, we wanted to see how it is here, try for a job. And the reason we just could give ourselves 6 weeks was that we had a mortgage back home, so we had to go home and pay our mortgage. Unless we get a job here, we are not able to leave our jobs. My mortgage was an employee rate mortgage, as I was working in a bank, so they wouldn't let me leave unless I pay off or transfer it to another institution. And during the period from the 14th of July when we got the COPRs till the 2nd of August when we had our flight, we rushed through a lot of preparations. We bought the big bags that we need for the flights. We got ourselves Forex cards that helped us save some money in foreign exchange, and I did it from Book My Forex, and they were kind enough to get the cash delivered at our home. And the funny thing is, I hadn't even seen the Canadian currency until then. So when the guy came in my home to give me the Canadian currency, I saw it was all plastic, and I was like, is this some kind of game? Am I getting scammed? But that was original currency of Canada. We also did the medical insurance, because for the 3 months in Ontario, the first 3 months the medicals are not covered. so we are supposed to do it from our end. So I got hold of a guy online who was selling insurance from a Canadian insurance company. I would prefer people coming here to get it done from a Canadian insurance company, just to reduce the hassles and troubles, just in case if it is required. I hope not. So what we did during those 6 weeks is that we quickly completed our IFIC certifications, that is the Investment Funds in Canada certification. It helps us get an entry-level job at a branch as a financial advisor, and given our banking backgrounds, we thought that would be the easiest way to transition our experiences and transition into a banking role here. So we had the IFIC certification ready and we started applying for jobs. In the meanwhile, we also went to Niagara and had some sightseeing tours with our friends, and we got to know what an amazing and naturally beautiful place this is. And during these 6 weeks, we were getting some positive responses from employers, not the banks directly, but from agencies who hired for the banks. Now it is easier to get inside a bank through the agencies and then get converted into a permanent employee. So that was one route that we could go for. So looking at all the positive signs that we were getting here, we decided to extend our stay. So we extended our stay for another few weeks. There was some troubles getting the extended leaves from our work back home, but we somehow managed it, because at the back of our mind we knew that we were wanting to leave our jobs back there and get a job here. The next month, September, we were finally able to secure jobs, but we could not join it here because we had to resign from our jobs in India, and I had a mortgage going on. So then that was a tough time for us, like whether to go back to India or whether to resign from here, what to do about the mortgage. Thankfully, all those things got sorted out. We gave our resignations during that time, and we did not have to go back to India for all the formalities in the process. Then I could join my jobs here. I was able to secure one offer from CIBC, which was in the field of branch banking as a financial advisor based on the IFIC certification that I have. And just when I was about to join, I was about to accept the offer, I got another offer from Scotia, which was slightly different, which was in AML. And since I had experience in AML and I preferred that more than branch banking, I joined that opportunity. And since then I have been in Scotia for the last 2 years, and during that time Khushbu was also able to find a job for her in one of the big 5 banks here through one of the agencies. If we had not got those positive signs or positive replies from the interviews, or if we had not got the interview calls, then I highly doubt that we would have stayed here, because at the end of the day we had a huge mortgage to pay and we had to go back and earn money, go back and join our jobs back home. So we did not have the luxury of staying here for a few months and then taking a decision. But at the end of the day, it all worked out positively, and we thought that, these are signs that we should be staying here. And now 2 years has passed in no time. 2 years, it was quite an experience. We learned a lot of things about the Canadian way of life, the Canadian culture, the winters, the cold. I do have a separate video about the winters and my experience about the winters in Canada, so have a look at that. Folks who are planning to come now it's a tough time given the job market and everything is down because of the virus. The Canadian government has been inviting a lot of immigrants lately, and it will help the economy boost a little bit, but at the same time getting a job might be a little difficult at this point of time. I believe if you really work hard and put all your effort, then it's possible to get a job still, even though the competition is huge nowadays because of the amount of immigrants coming here and the pandemic as well. Companies are not hiring as much as they used to do before. So I would just suggest that if you have the option to just not leave your jobs and just come here, try and see for yourselves, give yourselves some more time, say 4 or 5 months, and try to experience the place before you leave everything and come here, because that will definitely help. Other than that, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments and I'll be glad to reply. I'm this is a new channel, so I'm still learning, and I still want to get ideas from you guys that what you want to know about, so I can make more videos on exactly that stuff that is relevant, right? So until then, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow of me and Kushbu, and I hope you like the new name of the channel. So until then, stay safe, have fun, and please subscribe and click the bell icon. Bye.